Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mithun Jindal. I have more than 5 years of experience in software testing, and you can denote it by any title like quality assurance specialist, software tester, software analyst, testing analyst. There are a number of uh, titles that you can use for a same job profile. So today we are going to talk about the roadmap. So what a roadmap is, what this roadmap is regarding, actually it is gonna give us a pathway to become a quality engineer or a QA engineer, software tester, quality assurance analyst, test analyst. There are many more titles that you can use for such profile, and today we are gonna talk about the same. So the very first thing is, like, if you are confused about the process, so we are clearing all the doubts in this video, and also we are gonna discuss the detailed topics that that we will be needing to understand and learn to become a quality test engineer. So first of all, we will gonna cover what to study and where to study, and where to start, what are the sites that we can refer, what are the topics that we have to seek to learn, and it's just not about the manual testing only, but also we will see what kind of topics we need to cover in the database or API testing and all. So and we are also gonna see what topics we should to learn on the index basis, like what should we study first. How can you do the practicals? Yeah, that also we are gonna discuss in the end of the video, like where you can do the practicals. Is there any organization or any free website where you can practice your own if you are a fresher? Otherwise, how you can enhance your portfolio if you are a experienced person. And also we are gonna talk about again regarding the same, like where to get hands-on experience on the projects. There's an organization which is a kind of startup, and they are having a lot of projects, and they are providing a hands-on experience on those projects. So you can opt for that also. I'll let you know in the end of the video. Next is like this roadmap, what it is gonna be about. So it will guide you the step-by-step process to become a software tester, quality assurance specialist, or, like, as I already told you, there are many other titles as well that you can refer to. So the very first step that we have is to learn about the basics of manual testing, which is very important. So we are going to cover what is manual testing, what are their types, like how many types of manual testing we have. So basically we have six, but further we have too much segregation under those six types of manual testing. So that also we will be covering. And the software testing lifecycle, which is basically the foundation of manual testing. And then there is a software development life cycle. Software development life cycle, so basically testing life cycle is a main and very important pillar of software development life cycle. We will be covering that further, and again we will be covering the software development life cycle models. There are six models, but we are going to focus on three only as of now. But yeah, because in past of the industry, IT industry, those three models were used very widely, and one of them is still getting used in current organization structures. So later on we will be discussing about the bug life cycle, how bug was created and how it moves from a different states, and in the end it got resolved, cancelled, or there are many kind of statuses. So we will be discussing that also. So next topic is regarding the verification and validation. What is the difference between that? And then we will be discussing when we call a particular mismatch or discrepancy between input and output, or expected or actual result, an error, a bug, a defect, and a failure. So we are going to discuss the difference between all these four. And next topic we will be covering the test case design techniques. There are five, so we will be discussing that. And next is entry criteria and exit criteria. So we cannot do the aggressive manual testing, right? Because it will increase the cost, and there are so many factors. So we will discuss that. What is the entry criteria for for starting the manual testing, and what are the exit criteria for the same when we have to stop the testing. Further, we will be discussing about the test cases, test scenarios, test plan, and test strategy. What is the difference between it and how we will be designing it. So we will take a very basic example with the Excel file, and we will discuss that on that basis. Next thing is the hands-on project. So that also we will do in the manual testing. And next is the most important part, one of the most important, I would say. So it is the agile model. Part 1 first is the understanding of agile model. What is the agile model? As I told you in the earlier slide that we will be discussing 6 types of software development life cycle models. So one of the most widely used current model is the agile model, which we are going to discuss later on in the series that we are creating for the testing profiles. So later on, what is the concept of scrum meeting? Okay, what scrum board contains, and who is scrum master? What are the responsibilities of him or her? Or what a product owner do? Who is scrum team? What are their roles? KRA, basically key responsibility area. So that we are going to discuss later on. We will be discussing what is product backlog, and there are further more topics like understanding of sprint planning, what is user story points, how we assign a story point to a particular task story, then uh, moving onwards like an epic or a feature improvement. So a lot of things that we will cover. Next is like sprint backlog, what we keep in that, and what it is, how we gonna burn it. So all these things we will gonna be discussing. And the next topic is sprint delivery. When we deliver the sprint, what are the deliverables in the sprint that we commit in the planning and all. So this whole will be covered in the upcoming sessions. So just stay with it. Also just wanted to take a pause here and let you know that if you are somewhat aware of these topics and you want to study from your own, there are multiple sites that I will put in the description. You can go there and check it out, and you can study at your own also. It is just a roadmap that is giving you an idea like where to start and how to move towards this profile, which is the quality test engineer or test engineer, and how you can move forward with it. So and what are the key topics that you have to prepare, what are, how see basically the day-to-day responsibilities that you are gonna get in that profile is what you study here. So basically this is the whole process we are discussing here, which is gonna help you uh, deal with your day-to-day responsibilities. So next we have agile model part 2. There are more topics like what is burn down chart, and when a sprint review happen or a retrospective meeting happens for the same. What is the Jira? It is a project management tool that nowadays everyone know, but still how to get a bit familiar before entering into the industry, so that you have an idea, a look and feel. Won't feel lost for a very simple I would say very simple tasks. Let's say if someone assigned you a story and they ask you please put the story points in it, then you will be confused, okay, where I have to put the story points. You will be asking these small questions to your colleague or senior, will which might be a little irritating for them. So if you have an idea about the look and feel and how to uh, you know do those small stuff, and how you link the stories like one story to another, how you link a bug to a story or improvement or feature, or you know so how to move a bug out of the story and all. So those kind of law, if you once you get a chance to see, it will be very helpful for you. You will be able to answer more, and you will be more efficient than your other colleagues and all. So next we have basics of API testing. So in this we are going to cover Postman. I would say like there are two major tools nowadays getting used. One is Postman, one is Swagger also. Swagger NG new generation, that is that is the tool which is getting widely used. So what happens? I'll give you a little glance. Like Postman is a tool where you can test any API extensively, okay, aggressively. And Swagger is a tool in which you do not need a knowledge of any scripting, collection, variable and all. You will be seeing a particular API and API path, and later on you will be having a JSON format in it, and in the JSON format you will be giving the inputs, and below in the output uh, panel you will be getting the output of that particular API and the parameter that you have given. So but still we need Postman on the top of Swagger. Why we need that? Because there are two kind of APIs. One is the API which gets the data and uh, like take the request and get the response from the database. Second are the UI APIs. UI APIs, what they do, whatever the input that you are gonna give or URL you are gonna hit, it will render the UI on the browser itself. So those kind of APIs do not interact with the database. So those kind of APIs will be needing a particular tool to get tested. So those APIs you can cater only in the Postman. In Swagger you cannot test the UI APIs. So that's why we always need Postman on top of Swagger. So but yeah, let's come back to the slide. So we are going to discuss about the Postman in basics in this API testing. So we are going to send the requests and get the responses. So we are going to see how many kind of responses are there and what are the HTTP codes for the same. We will be covering that, and further we have collections in which we are creating a collection of a similar kind of APIs, or you can create a collection based on a flowchart. So that we will be covering. And also the variable, you can set the variable on environment level or local level as well. So how you can set those environment variables and then recall those variables in your URL, uh, I mean to say API URL. Then we will be creating the scripts in this. When you have created the collection, then variable sorry, you have created the variable, then collections, and then you will be creating the test scripts in the Postman, which will be automating your whole test cases of the APIs. So that will, you can say, the automation of API basically. So that we are going to cover. We are going to cover the basics of it, but later on we'll see according to the response. Further we have the basics of database. So in database also we need couple of things to cover, because this is what is gonna be asked in the interview, and also you will be having some database work in your day-to-day responsibilities, because let's say a software came or a website came, then you are putting some data in it. Let's say a very simple functionality, login sign up. So once you are signing up a user, the detail of that user is going to the database. So you have to check whether the database is storing the values in the right columns or tables or not. So you will be needing the basics of database done. There are many kind of databases. So first of all, DBMS is the database management system. So you can use any of these for your practice or for your project. It always depend on project to project, like MySQL, Sybase, Oracle, MongoDB, Informix, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, and there are many other also, T-SQL and all. So you can SQLite is used in Android. So you can use any of the database management system, but if you're working for a project-based company, then this DBMS is already predefined basically. So it comes to you and you have to just run your queries and test your data accordingly. Next is the SQL and syntax. So we are gonna see how we write the queries, what is the syntax for it, and later on the different type of commands we are gonna discuss, like DDL, data definition language, manipulation control language, TCL. TCL is having TCL is having uh, a very unique functionality, which one of it is rollback. Let's say you are writing a transaction, okay. You are writing a query, you closed it in the transaction by using the begin transaction, and then you can hold on it. Let's say you are updating a particular database. Let's say you are updating a name in the table employee. So so before writing the update query, you can write the begin, and later on if you commit it, then it will go as a permanent change. Otherwise you can do rollback. So doing that, you can whatever changes you are making in the DB, that can be rolled back, otherwise it won't. So TCL is also somewhat, which is very important. And joins, oh definitely, there are many type of joins, like left join, outer join, inner join, then combination of this left inner, left outer. So those joins are definitely gonna asked in the interview. And if you get a serious kind of job in which database is used like 20 to 30%, I would say, then you are definitely gonna use the joins. Joins are very important because it also used in creation of SQL procedures, which store procedures, which which helps in the creation of alerts and all. So one of the most important topic. So I guess that's pretty much it from the topic side. Now what is left in this journey? It is finally the interview preparation. So once you are preparing for the interview, make sure that your communication is good. So I don't know, you need to practice on it. If you are getting job without the communication skill, that is also good. But in a long run, you need to improve your communication skill, because now or one day later on in future, like maybe in far in future or near future, you will get to deal with the client as well, right? So if you want to do that, you need to be having a good communication skill. Then it comes to introduction to your past experience, if working professional, otherwise the projects that you did in your college definitely makes sense. Next is the technical question. So all these three topics, they are gonna ask you the questions. On database, they are gonna give you a particular problem, like we have these two tables. Table A has column A, column B, and table 2 has column C, column D, and column C is equal to column B, then get the all common data from A and D. So at that time you will be using join, right? So these kind of queries they will ask, and you have to write it and submit it. So these kind of interviews gonna happen. And example questions like difficulties faced in your project. Okay, so these are the scenario based questions basically. Scenario based is what kind of difficulties you have faced and how did you overcome those difficulties. Did you give up easily and ask your senior and all, or you look forward or fight forward towards those problems and you get the solution on your own? Maybe it take a 1 hour or 2 hours more than usual, but that's how you learn, right? So that you have to explain. Bugs that you logged, okay, how many critical or serious bugs you have logged, right? What was their priority, severity, and all. So that you have to define in it. So what is next? It's how you deal with the stubborn. Okay, so let's say they give you the imaginary situation. Let's say you are the QA engineer. You found a bug in your environment, QA environment, in the build, and you have given everything to the dev team when you reported the bug. But the developer who built it, he is not able to reproduce, or he is not considering it as a bug. So now how will you deal it with him or her? So that is called the how you deal with this stubborn kind of person who is very irritating, who is not listening to you, who is saying like, Go talk to my manager, I don't want to talk to you." Like there is very harsh situations come sometime. So how will you deal with it? Will you go and complain about him or her, or you confront them, or you will provide the enough evidences will that will be, supporting your reported bug and all. So those kind of example questions will be asked in the end. And there is one final questionnaire is left, which is regarding the logical scenario based questions, to test you your never give up that we all have already covered, right? So they give you the logical questions, okay, and also they will give you the puzzle questions. So this is the most interesting one. They give you the puzzles like based on relation also, okay. Based on relation means like I'll give you an example that okay, there is a person who is going uh, to doctor with his son, but there is another person sitting in the hospital who saw him, okay, who saw them basically, and shouted that my father is here, my father is here, but he has one son only. So how will you answer it? Like, who how that person is related to him? There is a person named A, and he has a son named B, the only son. And there is another person C, sitting in the hospital, who saw them and shouted like, "Here is my father came." So how that person is related to them? So he can could be his grandchildren, right? Because he might have seen the person B and he shouted that my father came, right? So that's how these puzzles are gonna be. And there are other puzzles also. uh, there is the puzzle related to that water tank puzzle. Like, I have a beaker of 5 liter and 3 liter, how will I measure 2 liter out of it? There is another rope puzzle. There is a there is a puzzle regarding the light bulb. There are like n number of puzzles. We will be covering that also. Later on we will discuss about it. So, as I was saying, there is a startup company that helps dedicated students build their career. It is TechThirst. TechThirst helps you build your career in testing and also help you prepare for interview. Just drop an email at techthrust@gmail.com with your resume. If you are a fresher, if you are experienced, it doesn't matter. They will get back to you. So as of now, that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, share, and comment. And if you have any kind of doubts, please do not hesitate. Comment anything that you feel like that you need a clarity on. I'm happy to help you on this. See you in the tutorials. We will start really soon. Thank you. Bye bye.